if you've ever felt this. If you've gotten very good at moving forward in the world and still had no idea how to become quiet inside yourself, then don't be too quick to call yourself broken. A lot of people are not living the wrong life. They are just using one method to solve two completely different kinds of problems. The outer world asks for expansion. The inner world asks for peace. And people who know only one of those languages usually end up bleeding on the other side. At 34, Leo had just closed the kind of deal other people call beautiful. He and his team had sold an AI product to a large company. And for the first time, a sum of money arrived that didn't just improve his life. It changed its category. Media invitations followed, then investor meetings, partnerships, speaking requests, podcasts. His phone stayed lit from morning to night. People started speaking about him in that tone people use when they think a life has finally become correct. But during that same stretch of time, the thing Leo did most often was sit on the floor of his apartment at 2 in the morning and stare at the white light inside his refrigerator. He didn't sleep deeply. His chest stayed tight. Every finished goal produced a new appetite almost immediately. Once he made the first serious money, he started thinking about how the next level had to be bigger. Once he was noticed, he started fearing the day he might no longer be noticed. He had already acquired many of the things people want, and yet a quieter truth had begun taking shape inside him. He had made his world larger, but had not created a place inside himself where he could actually rest. That winter, after his mother died, he returned to the old family house. It was a weathered place near the sea, with window frames that always smelled faintly of salt. He had only gone back to sort through her things and prepare the house to be sold. But in the deepest corner of the attic, he found a locked wooden box. Inside it, there were no jewels, no cash, no hidden inheritance. There were only 2 manuals. One was deep gray, with a hard cover and clean handwriting. The other was soft white, worn at the edges, as if it had been opened over many years. The gray one was titled, Build. The white one was titled, Rest. Leo stood there a long time with both of them in his hands, because he knew immediately what they were. The gray one belonged to his father. The white one belonged to his mother. His father had been a radically rational man, an engineer by training, a man who spoke the way metal is cut, precise, unsentimental, and never longer than necessary. When Leo was young, his father taught him mathematics, logic, mechanical structures. He taught him how to take things apart, how to estimate risk, how not to be fooled by appearances. He used to say that the world does not run on hope, it runs on structure. And if you do not understand structure, you end up spending your life as someone else's replaceable part. His mother was the opposite. She didn't fight much. She didn't preach. She cooked, grew plants, and read books that looked useless to ambitious people. She wiped the wooden chairs dry after rain. She made tea when everyone else in the house was agitated. She used to say that if the heart keeps running after the world, even a good life never really becomes livable. When he was young, Leo had always believed his father's system was the useful one. Because it won. It won grades, it won jobs, it won opportunities, money, position, authority. His mother's way, by contrast, had always seemed gentle but strategically weak, beautiful, maybe, but not built for a competitive world. So as he grew older, he moved toward his father without hesitation. He studied foundations, systems, markets, leverage, how to turn ability into product, how to use technology and media to multiply impact. And he won. He just started losing sleep while doing it. That night, he brought both manuals to his room. He opened the gray one first. It wasn't a journal. It was more like a field manual for building a life. Each page was short enough to feel like law. The first page said, "Learn the foundation before touching the surface." The next, "The age keeps changing its clothes. Its skeleton changes far less. Mathematics, logic, economics, writing, computation, these are not old things. They are the bones that keep you from being frightened every time the world invents a new costume." Another page, "Do not sell your life by the hour forever. Time is the bluntest thing you can trade. Real wealth comes from things that keep working after you leave the room." Leo kept turning pages. Specific knowledge, first principles, The market pays real premiums only for value that cannot be easily replaced. Code and media are the fairest and cruelest levers of this age. Do not imitate success. Grow into something that cannot be copied whole. Then he found a page that held him there for a long time. It said, if you are capable of making your world larger, do not spend your whole life trapped inside another person's system, trading your years for a salary. Leo stared at that sentence, and suddenly he understood that the reason he had really gotten out, was not because luck had finally smiled at him. It was because his father's hard, cold lessons had slowly opened the outer world. What his father had taught him was not greed. It was capability, pattern recognition, the discipline of understanding cause and effect, and the outer world does require that language. Without it, even basic freedom stays fragile. But when he reached the final page, the gray manual ended with one sentence. If all you learn is how to get what you want, but never how to live once you have it, you will still lose in the end. Leo closed the gray book slowly. Then he opened the white one. There were no diagrams in it, no models, no language of faster, larger, higher. The first page said, every desire is a contract you sign with unhappiness. Leo read it twice, because it was painfully accurate. He thought of all the times in recent years when he had finally gotten the thing he wanted. The relief had always been real, but it was brief, and now he could see why. It was not that the thing itself had completed him, it had only meant that, for one moment, he no longer had to want it. Then the next want had risen. The next page said, you are not happy because you got it. You are happy because, for a moment, desire stopped pressing on your throat. He slowed down after that. The sentences in his mother's book were lighter than his father's. Fewer words, softer weight, but each one landed with terrifying precision in the places that had been emptiest in him. Do not use outer victories as medicine for an inner wound. Anxiety is not always the world moving too fast. Often it is the heart refusing to remain where it is. Meditation is not a performance. It is only the slow return of attention from the rope outside that keeps swinging. Love is not intensity. Love is the moment your body stops wanting to leave. The wise do not rush to prove themselves. Silence is not emptiness. Sometimes it is what seeing clearly sounds like. By the time he reached the middle of the book, Leo found that he missed his mother in a way he had not expected. For years, he had thought her way was too soft, too slow, too impractical for the world he had chosen. Now he understood that her way had never been meant to replace his father's. It was meant to balance it, to absorb the cost of it, to keep a human being from being devoured by the very things that helped him rise. You can use science, technology, systems, and leverage to make your world larger. But once your world becomes larger, the volume of inner noise often becomes larger too. And if you have no second discipline for desire, attention, restlessness, relationship, loneliness, then it becomes very easy to become one of those people who win outwardly and burn inwardly. That night, Leo admitted something to himself for the first time. His greatest mistake had not been ambition. It had been trying to solve his mother's questions with his father's methods. He had used effort to chase peace, used more to chase enough, used control to chase release, used external certainty to plug internal unrest, and that was never going to work. You can use Western science to launch rockets, build products, write code, make money, design systems, but you cannot use the same method to command the mind into stillness. You cannot optimize yourself out of desire. You cannot accumulate enough outcomes to purchase permanent inner weather. Because these are two different worlds, and two different worlds require two different forms of intelligence. By dawn, Leo had placed both manuals side by side for the first time in his life. Then he pulled a blank sheet of paper toward him and wrote 3 lines. The first, outwardly, learn structure, learn foundational disciplines, learn markets, leverage, specific knowledge, learn how to make value continue growing, even while you sleep. The second, inwardly learn release. Learn that desire is desire, not a command. Learn to bring attention back. Learn not to use achievement as pain medicine. Learn that love is measured not by intensity, but by peace. The third, do not keep using one method to live an entire life. When he finished writing, something in him loosened, not because life had suddenly become simple, but because he could finally distinguish which questions belonged to the market and which ones could not be solved there. He could finally see that his father and mother had not been teaching opposite truths. They had each been guarding one half of a complete life. Without either half, a person becomes lopsided. Later, Leo did not turn into a mystic. He still built products, still thought about markets, still worked with strategy, systems, leverage, money, because he knew poverty does not produce virtue automatically. It only produces more forms of compulsion. If you cannot pay for your family's care, you cannot pretend you have transcended material reality. But at the same time, he stopped mistaking outer success for inner answer. He began protecting parts of his life that would not be traded. He began meditating, not because it was fashionable, but because he finally understood that if attention never returned, the self stayed scattered. He began rethinking love. He stopped worshiping emotional violence and started trusting peace. He spoke a little less. He let results do more of the speaking. He kept more silence for himself. Years later, someone asked him what the most important discovery of his life had been. Leo thought about it for a long time before answering. Then he said, "The outer world must be met through structure. The inner world must be met through release. If you only know one of those languages, you will have trouble living fully." This is Otherworld Radio. A high life is not made by winning the world outside or by soothing the world inside alone. You have to grow two different capacities at once, one that opens reality and one that lets you remain at home inside yourself after reality opens.